You just need to add milk to the caramel. I'm going to start by melting the sugar directly in the pan. Here I'm using 3 cups of sugar. In this case, I used granulated sugar, which is what I have at home. Just spread the sugar evenly across the whole pan. When it starts to melt around the edges, it's time to stir carefully. We're going to make a very practical homemade recipe. It's an easy dessert, great for any time. It really is one of the simplest preparations. We can already see the sugar beginning to melt around the sides. At this point, start stirring slowly. It's very easy to make a good caramel. Stir little by little until the caramel forms. Keep the heat low so you don't burn the sugar. Stir gently so it melts evenly. The sugar should be completely melted and fully liquid. Now, we've reached the perfect caramel point. See how smooth and nicely colored it is. There are still some granules that haven't dissolved. At this point, we can go ahead and turn off the heat. The heat from the caramel itself will help dissolve the remaining sugar. Once everything is melted, the caramel has a great texture. Now, with the heat off, I start adding the milk little by little. Add it slowly and stir at the same time. Do this step calmly so the sugar doesn't crystallize. This way, the milk blends well with the caramel. The texture becomes creamy like a sauce. This base works for several types of sweets. If you like caramel flavor, this recipe is great to try at home. I'll add the rest of the milk and keep stirring. Keep stirring so everything combines. The sugar slowly blends back into the mixture. Stir until no crystals remain. After mixing well, the mixture becomes smooth. Now add 1 tablespoon of butter. Stir it in so it mixes well with the caramel. The butter helps with the final texture of the candy. That's why we add that amount here. It's now fully incorporated into the mixture. The caramel has a nice shine. The heat is now completely off. I carefully remove the spatula and pour the caramel into a prepared bowl. I placed parchment paper on the bottom of the bowl. You can also use plastic wrap if you prefer. I've already poured all the caramel into the bowl. We'll let it cool at room temperature. Then we'll continue with the rest of the recipe. As you can see, the candy is already cold. I'll carefully remove it from the mold. I start by removing the parchment paper. Do it carefully so you don't break the caramel. Now it's ready to cut. I removed it all. We're going to cut it into small cubes. Use a sharp knife to make it easier. I cut it into strips, then into cubes. That way, we get small portions. I cut in both directions. That's how we formed the caramel cubes. They turned out even and nicely firm. Now we separate the pieces. I move the caramels onto a plate. You can make them whatever size you prefer. And that's it. We have our homemade caramel. If you prefer, you can make them smaller. It's a simple recipe with great flavor.